World News in 5.
Right now.
News and developments making headlines around the world in 5 minutes. World News in 5. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Good day to all of our listeners here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. This is World News in 5 and I'm your host, Steph Vicente. 4 members of Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps were killed in U.S.-Saudi airstrikes in eastern Iraq on Wednesday, according to an Iranian provincial official. The victims were reportedly providing security for Arba'in pilgrimage ceremonies in Diyala province when the strikes occurred. Iraqi authorities said at least 6 Iranian pilgrims were among those killed, stressing that they entered Iraq as civilians and not as fighters. The Popular Mobilization Forces, an umbrella group of Iran-aligned militias, reported a total of at least 20 fatalities and 32 injuries from the attacks. Funeral processions were later held in Baghdad for those killed in the strikes. The incident marks a further escalation of tensions between U.S.-led forces and Iran-linked groups in the region. In other news overseas, vessel traffic through 2 of the world's most critical maritime choke points remains significantly reduced due to ongoing U.S.-Iran tensions. Data shows only 14 commercial ships passed through the Strait of Hormuz in the past 24 hours, far below the pre-conflict average of around 120 daily crossings. Activity in the Bab al-Mandeb Strait has also declined, with just 37 vessels recorded over the same period. The drop follows increased threats to shipping, including pressure from Iran-backed Houthi rebels in the Red Sea corridor. Industry players are now exploring alternative routes to transport oil and goods out of the region. Analysts warn that prolonged disruptions could impact global trade and energy markets. And finally, the U.S. military has launched new strikes against Iran in retaliation for what it described as an attempted surprise attack on American forces in the Middle East. The U.S. Central Command said the operation was a powerful response to Iranian actions targeting U.S. bases in Jordan and ships in the Strait of Hormuz. The latest escalation follows joint U.S.-Saudi strikes earlier this week against Iranian-backed groups in Iraq. The conflict, which began 5 months ago, shows no signs of ending despite brief pauses and reported attempts of negotiations. U.S. President Donald Trump said the U.S. would respond forcefully, declaring it's their turn to hit them. Diplomatic efforts remain uncertain, with Iran denying that any active talks are taking place. And that concludes today's edition of World News in 5. For Radyo Pilipinas World Service, this has been Steph Vicente. Good day and stay safe, everyone.
World News in 5.
Right now.
News and developments making headlines around the world in 5 minutes. World News in 5. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.